Remember after the U.S. men's national team didn't make the World Cup? Remember when they lost to Trinidad? And then we hear that epic rant by Taylor Twellman. What are we doing? What are we doing? The definition of insanity is doing something, the same thing over and over and over again, or something like that. So what are we doing? What changes have happened? What major things have we done to correct U.S. soccer? And what are we doing? What are the changes? Where is Taylor Twellman now? Where are you now? Shouldn't we be concerned now? Shouldn't we be preparing now? I think we're being way too nice. Our changes are what? So we got a new national team coach, and it's who is it? Berhalter. That's our guy. Is that our saving grace? I mean, that's what we have to do, and because he's affiliated with U.S. Soccer, I mean, that should be a concern. That's not a change to me. Putting someone in because his daddy works for U.S. Soccer doesn't sound like a significant change for me. But I don't believe it's about coaches. I believe it's about players. It'd be nice to have great coaches, but we need players. We need a completely different culture shift as far as player selection. So, having said that, what are we doing? If you look at the national team roster, the two big names that stick out to me that bother the living crazy out of me is Altidore and Bradley. What are we doing? Why are they still on the roster? We don't need veterans to lead these young guys. We need them out. They're part of the problems. They are the problem. They are losers. No offense to Bradley and Altidore, which will have a way better Wikipedia page than I'll ever dream of. But what are we doing, right? Taylor, what are we doing? There needs to be punishment. They should be banned from the U.S. national team. We didn't make the World Cup. They're gone. Get rid of them. That's not the leadership we need. Get rid of them. We don't need them. I've watched them play plenty, and maybe I'm just completely naive to everything. But when I watch Bradley play, he just runs around trying to make sure his heart rate monitor and his GPS system is recording like so many averages that he's covering enough field. He just jogs around, but when it comes to a sprint that matters as far as defending, he doesn't. He walks. He jogs. He doesn't work hard, and when there's pressure, he just runs around knocking the ball around. But when there's absolute pressure, he loses it every time. You see that time and time again when it comes to the big games. And then at the last World Cup he was out in South Africa, he lost the ball every time there's pressure. He can't handle pressure. He's not technical enough. He's not prepared to play. And maybe he's brilliant in a way he can lose players and get out of trouble or whatever because he's always in the right spot. Maybe that's the case. I need to rewatch things, but he loses it under pressure. He's easy to take out, but he's a loser. He lost. He's part of the problem, and that's too bad. So he needs to go away. Altidore, I've never liked him, and he's getting caps after caps. He must be the coolest guy to hang out at parties. That's the only thing I could think of. He just must be the funniest guy known to man or whatever, and everyone just loves him. But when he's on the field, what does he do? He's not technical. He's just big and fast. I mean, and he doesn't work hard. Work ethic has to matter. And when he does have to work hard, what happens? His hamstring tears. So get rid of them. So what are we doing? Get rid of the two cancers. They're not good. They don't participate in. I mean, they didn't help us in the last two Olympics or the last World Cup we were in. We don't want them around. Why would you want a cancer to be around that? So that makes no sense to U.S. soccer. So Taylor Twellman talked about three things. He talked about what U.S. soccer is doing, MLS, and pay to play. What are those three groups going to do to make some changes? And what have we seen? We heard the threats that MLS will start their own academies, which they kind of are, and they're going to pull out of the DA system, which they did not. Pay to play will never go away because it's just not going to happen. People have to make their money. And U.S. soccer, until there's a voting change, it's just not going to happen. So the only thing we can do is change ourselves. Me as a coach, me in my little academy at Phoenix College, I have to change what I'm doing as far as convincing my community. I am so sorry. I have to stop this podcast and bring you an advertisement from Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place. You can do it from your phone or your computer. Anchor also gives you creation tools that will allow you to record a great podcast with editabilities. They'll distribute your podcast in so many different places like Spotify, Apple, Google Play, and much more. You can easily make money from your podcast as well. Please go download Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Now enjoy the rest of this podcast. I got rudely interrupted by Zued Akuro. Did I say that right? Akuro? Good enough. So my podcast got split up. Anchor has to do something. When I receive a phone call, why does my podcast shut off? It should block calls. That needs to be fixed. But back to my rant. What can we do? What can I do in my community to make sure I'm doing my part? Because I'm part of U.S. soccer, so I guess I'm a part of the problem. I need to change the culture, what I have here. Actually, I have the culture of soccer here. I just need to focus on the other things as far as discipline and making sure the kids I'm training are disciplined and showcased in such a way that U.S. soccer can identify them. But, they like having their weird mix of players. But please get rid of Altidore and Bradley. They're of no use, and I will do a better job making sure I'm changing things. And the thing is, I do things different. I've never followed U.S. soccer standards as far as their development curriculum because it's always been stupid. And so I have been doing my part, I guess. So anyways, those are my thoughts today. Goodbye. Have a great weekend.